latest on what is now Tropical Storm Danas, named internationally. The Philippine name is Falcon. It's a 17.7 north, 123.5 east, with winds now of 45 miles per hour and a pressure of 993 just off the coast of Luzon. This is as of 8 p.m. local time this July 16th, and on the CDPS scale, not much has changed since the last update. Still a stage 2 with the rainfall potential larger than any of the others right now. So we're expecting potentially up to 250 millimeters of rain for parts of the Philippines. We picked San Fernando as the possible highest amount of rainfall. Here it is on the map right now. You can see just how close it is to land, very close now at this point, and blowing up some significant convection too. It's 105 miles from Santa Ana, 118 from Tucugaro, 214 from Basco, 396 from Kaohsiung in Taiwan, and 519 from the capital Taipei. Of course, the system is likely to move towards the northwest, towards Taiwan, but we don't know exactly which direction just yet. Signal 2 warnings in effect for the Babayan group of islands and part of Cagayan, with Signal 1 warnings for surrounding areas. Also watching out for potential flooding across most of Luzon and the Visayas region. Looking at the rainfall amounts in the next few days, you can see why, because there are 2 distinct bands of rainfall that are going to be moving through. The first one, of course, where it's making landfall, and then further south, potential for significant rainfall in the west of Visayas, particularly on Palawan. As the storm moves off towards the northwest, eventually you'll see the rainfall start to increase over in Taiwan as well. What's really difficult about this system is because the models are predicting all kinds of different things to happen. Indeed, the GFS is calling for it to effectively split into 3, with the main storm continuing off towards the South China Sea. Sea surface temperatures over there are around 30 degrees Celsius, which are very warm for potential development. And here is a look at what the GFS is looking at right now in the next few days. The main bulk of Danas moves over into the South China Sea, has a new centre potentially there as we enter the late part of the week. But potentially another system is moving up there through the Ryukyu Islands, which could be a tropical storm in its own right, or extratropical. And then Danas itself makes landfall there in Taiwan before scooting off towards the northeast. All very complex. It's not all models are calling for that to happen. Plenty of models are calling for it to remain one distinct system, but to miss the Philippines, so anything could really happen. But these are the chance of tropical storm force winds, which is really what you should focus in on. 80% of Basco, which is the highest out of all of these areas right now, and you can see on the graphic there, Taiwan pretty much in the crosshairs no matter what happens. This is a look at wind shear graphics right now. Pretty low amounts of wind shear to moderate, 10 to 20 knots. Very high amounts further south, but if it does move out into the South China Sea, it will have a decent window for intensification, and 1 or 2 models predicting that it could possibly get to minimal typhoon status. So it's quite clear where the centre is right now, looking at that visible imagery. Looking now at the water vapour infrared, and you can see all of that convection blowing through the Philippines, starting to wane a little bit on those latest frames after blowing up all day long really. But the centre is quite easy to spot, and it is moving still towards the west at this time, so it does appear to me at this point that it will end up making landfall on Luzon. That's all for now. We'll have another update in due course. You can follow Force 13's outlets, the website force13.com. You can also find our YouTube channel. If you're not there already, you may well be. Good chance of that. Subscribe if you haven't. You can also find our Facebook page, search Force 13 all in text, and our Twitter handle, it's @Force13 on there. You can also help the project become even better by becoming a patron. You can see more information about all the benefits involved by visiting patreon.com/Force13. You can also contact me on Discord. It's Fool13 at extension 9094 and Force13 on Skype. You can also find our server link to our Discord server for tropical weather chat in our description.